Could we be looking at one of the modern era GOATs in Prismatic Evolutions? Today I just wanted to run through and compare the latest expansion in Prismatic Evolutions with two of the other and widely considered modern era GOATs in Team Up and Evolving Skies. Now straight off the bat we jump into Pokedata, which provides us with the total cost of a single set based on the accumulative price of all the cards that exist within that set. And as we can see here, Prismatic Evolutions right now sits at just under 11,000 US dollars. Yes, that's at 11,000, right? Now, of course, you could say the cards are extremely inflated right now due to the fact that the set's just come out. People are paying stupid money for these cards, and that's absolutely correct, right? That's true. Every time a new set comes out, for those of you that aren't aware, the cards have extremely inflated prices, at least the top cards, the chase cards from the set, because people race to be the first ones to obtain the card on the secondary market and pay ridiculous amounts of money. Now that we've taken a look at Prismatic Evolutions, let's take a look at two of the modern era GOATs in Team Up and Evolving Skies. To start off with Team Up, and as you can see, a total value of just over 3,500 US dollars, more specifically 3.633. Of course, the main driving force behind that being the Latias and Latios GX card that we all know and love, sitting at 1,165 US dollars, right? Then we have a look at Evolving Skies, which clears it by almost $1,000, sitting at just under 4,500 US dollars. And again, a main driving force behind the set, one single card, the infamous Umbreon VMAX, which currently sits at 1,600 US dollars. Now that we've looked at those sets and their total price, let's have a look at their main products, right? Of course, the booster box. So to start off with, we have Team Up booster box, which currently sits at 3,000 US dollars, okay? Then we have Evolving Skies booster box, which sits at 1,350 US dollars. Now, of course, you're probably going to ask, that doesn't make sense because the total price or the total cost of the entire set of Team Up is $1,000 less than Evolving Skies, yet the booster box costs double the booster box of Evolving Skies. Now that's a good point, and it brings me on to my second determining factor being time. Now, as we know, there's a direct correlation between the total cost of a set and the cost of a product, a sealed product, and there's a correlation there. There's also a direct correlation between the cost of a product and the amount of time it's existed for. There's also a direct correlation there. So let's talk about time. Let's talk about the two sets we just spoke about in Evolving Skies and Team Up. Firstly, we had Team Up that came out in February of 2019. We also had Evolving Skies that came out in 2021, more specifically August, which means Evo Skies was released 2.5 years after Team Up. So what does this mean? In other terms, let's put it into context or into perspective, right? Let's just say 100,000 booster boxes were printed of both sets, yeah? In general, in history, right? Let's say each year a product has existed for, it's diminished by 10,000 booster boxes, okay? So we'll start off with Team Up, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? That's 7 years it's existed for, therefore 70,000 booster boxes no longer exist. 100,000 minus 70,000, we have 30,000 booster boxes that now exist of Team Up. Now let's look at Evolving Skies, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 5 years of existence, 50,000 booster boxes have diminished or have no longer exist. Therefore, Evolving Skies is left with 50,000 booster boxes in existence. Team Up with 30,000 booster boxes left. Evolving Skies with 50,000 booster boxes left. Which one is going to be more expensive? Of course, the one that has a lot less left available, right? The less of something that exists, the more expensive it gets. So now jumping back to Prismatic Evolutions, we looked at the beginning of the total cost of the set and why at the moment the cards are as inflated as they are in regards to their price. Let's jump back to that and take a look at what will happen in the future. So that then begs the question, if the prices are so inflated just after release, what brings them down? Well, of course, the more that products get opened, the more of these top chase cards exist, and therefore the more they're available to buy, and of course that brings the prices down. It ups the supply of these chase cards, therefore the demand drops because more people are getting their hands on these cards, and therefore it levels out the supply and demand levels, and the prices drop with it. Now that we've covered that, let's now talk about the pull rates from this set. Now, as we know, as we've seen, there's a lot of evidence out there. There's many videos that have been made, many live streams, etc., to support the fact that the pull rates from this set are just horrific, right? They're really, really tough. PokeRev, for example, did a stream the other day, an 8-hour stream where he opened 750 packs of this set and only pulled 2 of the Evolution SIRs. They were both, coincidentally, Glaceon. He pulled Glaceon twice. He did also pull some other cards, for example, the Masterball Reverse Holo for Umbreon. There was some regular SIR cards, for example, the Roaring Moon. There was the Goldengo. There was a couple gold cards in the Gold Pikachu and Gold Terrapagos as well. So there are some other good cards in there. But if we have a look at the price of those other cards he pulled, Roaring Moon EX, Cerula GX, Pikachu EX, for example, 220, 201, 181. Even if the population increases quite a lot of these, and it's not going to because the pull rates are extremely tough, they're not going to drop by a lot because these are still fantastic cards in their own right. Therefore, the fact that they're already sitting at around 200, just over or just under $200, they're not going to drop off a lot because they're already at a reasonable price for the cards they are. So the main attraction of the set, what's currently driving that extremely high price, is your Evolution EX SIR cards, right? So if you look at the Umbreon EX in particular at $1,600, is that card that you want to see pulled more so the quantity increases and therefore the price decreases. But I don't see it happening because if you do pull a fantastic card, if you do get a hit card, you're more likely to pull one of these other regular SIR cards such as the Roaring Moon or Ceruledge, Dragapult, Iron Valiant, etc, etc, etc. And it's just so hard to pull one of these Evolution cards, and even harder to pull one of the top ones in Umbreon, Sylveon, Espeon, etc. Now we move on to probably the most important factor in why this total value of this set is as high as it is, and also my belief as to why the total value of this set will always equate to more than the other great sets around it such as Team Up or Evolving Skies. I'm talking about the inclusion for the first time ever of the Masterball Holo cards. Yes, we saw just how great they were from the Japanese 151 set, and we've known for a long time now that they were going to be included and have been for the first time ever in an English set. So here we have it, and I'll be honest, I'll put my hand up. I thought prior to release that the Masterball Holo cards would be desirable to a certain level, but would not have a price nowhere near the prices of any of the SIRs of the Evolution cards. But boy, I was wrong. As we can see here, in third place, yes, in the top 3 most expensive cards of the set, the Umbreon Masterball Holo card at $600 US. Now, of course, it's an inflated price. It's a new card, right? It's a new concept in the English set. We haven't had Masterball Holo cards before. People want to be the first to get their hands on it. Therefore, they're paying crazy prices, and that price is extremely inflated. But so are all of them, right? So right now, you can see the kind of order that they're in the most expensive cards. That's more or less what they're going to be, even when prices aren't as inflated and time passes, and it's given them time to kind of come down to a more reasonable and natural level, right? The Umbreon Masterball Holo card will more or less sit around that mark, even when we have more reasonable prices, right? It's just going to be a very, very desirable card and one of the most desirable cards of the set. And another reason that plays into that factor is the fact that Masterball Holo cards are really hard to pull as well. It's not just those SIR cards. As we've seen, I'm not sure what the exact pull rates are, but the Masterball Holo card is something that you could open an ETB with 9 or 11 packs, depending on which one you got, and you might not even get a Masterball Holo card. You should probably expect 1, maybe 2, but I've seen cases of people opening an ETB and getting absolutely nothing in regards to the Masterball Holo cards, at least, right? Another thing to consider is the fact we might be looking at the last ever set, yes, the final set, where you could obtain a sealed case of Pokemon Center ETBs. Yes, if you guys remember correctly, when this set was first dropped on the Pokemon Center website, you could order a quantity of 4, which bags you a sealed case of 4 Pokemon Center ETBs. They quickly, due to the demand, dropped that to 2, and as we've seen since then with the arrival of Journey Together on the Pokemon Center website, you can still only order a maximum quantity of 2. Now, of course, we don't know if they're going to continue down this route, but if they do and they now continue to cap it at 2 and you can no longer order a sealed case of Pokemon Center ETBs, we might be looking at the final ever set to exist that you were able to obtain a sealed case of Pokemon Center ETBs. This making that product specifically, that case of Pokemon Center ETBs, a hugely desirable object to obtain. So why might we just be looking at one of the modern era GOATs? Now, okay, although it's an inflated total cost right now at just under 11,000 US dollars, it doesn't change the fact that these Master Balls have added a new level to this set, right? It's the first time they've ever been included, as we've touched on, and the price that they go for, yes, okay, they'll drop off. All of the prices of the cards will drop off a little bit, but not by a great deal. This set will be carried hugely by the fact that it's got 9 beautiful EV and Evolution SIR cards. Not only that, you've got beautiful other SIR cards in Cerulege, Roaring Moon, the Gold Pikachu, etc, etc, etc. There's a plethora of beautiful cards that exist in the set, and are just simply extremely hard to pull. Now, of course, you could sit there and say the Pokemon Company have come out, they've said they're going to print more, they're aware of this situation, we're going to print loads more, there's additional waves, maximum capacity. I'm really skeptical about what kind of effect that's really going to have. We're yet to see it. It could fix things, it could, but I'm very skeptical to that. That's a story for another video, and if you do want to see my thoughts on it, this is the video you're looking for right here. But the truth is, guys, I really don't think it's going to have a massive effect. And even if we do get a lot more product, it doesn't change the pull rates. We're still looking at extremely tough pull rates. These cards that we're chasing, these beautiful Evolution SIR cards, are still extremely hard to pull, right? Therefore, the quantity that exists of each of those cards is not going to go up by a lot, and therefore their prices aren't going to come down by a lot either, right? Furthermore, as I said before, we have the inclusion for the first time ever of the Masterball holo cards. This, guys, is massive, right? It adds a whole nother level to the set. A set is normally carried by its beautiful SIR cards, right? How hard they are to pull, how beautiful they are, how strong the Pokemon is on those SIR cards. They normally carry a set, right? With the Latias and Latios GX, Umbreon VMAX, Rayquaza VMAX, etc, etc. They normally carry the set, right? We're now getting carried by not only the beautiful SIR group of cards, but also the Master Balls as well. As we've seen, we had a look at the Umbreon Master Ball holo card sitting there in 3rd place above quite a lot of those SIR cards. We're now having 2 groups of hugely desirable cards pushing a set, right? Which means this set, although it's inflated right now, sitting at almost 11,000 US dollars, I still think after the inflation drops, after prices come down a bit, we're still going to be looking at a set that comfortably sits above Evolving Skies and Team Up. Comfortably. So to cover both single cards and sealed products, I do think we're going to be looking at some of the most expensive single cards of the modern era in that Umbreon Master Ball, that Umbreon EX SIR, and some of the other evolutions such as Sylveon, Espeon, etc. As well as that Pokemon Center ETB, probably at some point with years to come. Of course, you need to give it time. We touched on time before with the difference it makes in the prices. Give this quite a few years to catch up. And I do think there is potential there for that Pokemon Center ETB to go above the booster boxes of both Evolving Skies and Team Up. I really do think we're looking at a set here that both for single cards and sealed products could overtake the other modern era GOATs in Team Up and Evolving Skies, and could sit there on that #1 position as the greatest modern era set. That concludes my thoughts on this set and where I think it will sit in the future in comparison to some of the other greats from the modern era. Guys, I really would love to know what you guys think about this set, as well as how you think it will perform both the sealed products and single cards in the future. Let me know down below in the comments just what you guys think. Anyway, that's been everything from me today, guys. As always, please, if you have enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. I do massively appreciate all the support that you will show me. Guys, if you are new here and you aren't yet subscribed and you'd love to continue watching more TCG related content, you can hit that subscribe button right there. Guys, if you want to watch a couple of other videos of mine where I like to predict the prices of both sealed and single cards this time next year, you can watch those videos there. Guys, I've been PokeCharla. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.